My name is Linda Walker, and for 40 years, I believed I had the kind of marriage that others envied. I married Michael, my high school sweetheart, when I was just 19 years old in Dallas, Texas. We grew up together, we raised 2 wonderful children, and we built what looked like a stable, unshakable life in Houston. Over the decades, we faced financial ups and downs, long work hours, health scares, and the challenges of raising kids, but through it all, I thought we were unbreakable. I wore my wedding ring like a badge of honor, proud that through thick and thin, our love had survived. I told myself that we had built trust that couldn't be shattered. I was wrong. One ordinary Tuesday evening, I was making dinner when Michael's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Normally, I never looked at his phone. After all these years, why would I? But when the screen lit up, a message preview appeared that changed everything. I can't wait to see you again. Last night was perfect. My hands froze, my mind spinning. Surely, this wasn't for me. It wasn't on my phone, it was on his. I picked it up, my heart pounding, and against every instinct, I unlocked it. What I found destroyed me. There were dozens of messages between Michael and another woman, messages filled with affection, flirtation, and plans to meet in secret. My husband, the man I trusted for 4 decades, had been living a double life. When he came home that night, I confronted him. I held up the phone, my hand shaking, tears burning my eyes. He went pale, tried to deny it, but the evidence was undeniable. Finally, he admitted it. He told me he had been seeing someone else for nearly a year. I couldn't breathe. I shouted, I cried. I demanded answers. How could he do this after everything we had shared? After raising children, building a life, and standing by each other for 40 years? He muttered excuses about feeling lonely, about wanting excitement, about mistakes he never meant to make. But none of those words could justify the betrayal I felt. That night, I couldn't even look at him. I locked myself in the guest room and cried until I had nothing left inside me. The days that followed were some of the hardest I've ever faced. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and I walked around my own house like a ghost. Our children noticed quickly. My daughter Jessica, who lived in Chicago, called me every night to check in. My son David drove down from Austin and sat with me for hours, reminding me that I wasn't alone, that I was stronger than I felt. My friends tried to comfort me, but it was hard to hear their words. Many of them had admired our marriage, held it up as an example, and now I felt like a fool. I questioned myself constantly. Was I not enough? Did I miss the signs? Were 40 years of my life a lie? Eventually, I told Michael to leave the house. He moved into a small apartment nearby, and the silence that followed was crushing. But slowly, I began to find ways to breathe again. I started walking in the mornings at Hermon Park, the fresh air clearing my head. I joined a local book club, something I had always wanted to do but never made time for. I began journaling at night, writing down my anger and my grief instead of keeping it bottled inside. Each small step reminded me that I could still choose my life, even if he had broken the world we had built together. Michael tried to win me back. He sent flowers, wrote letters, and even begged me to try counseling. But every time I looked at him, I saw those words on the screen, words meant for someone else. Forgiveness might come one day, but trust was gone forever. I knew I deserved better than lies and betrayal. Months later, I traveled to Chicago to see Jessica. We walked along the lakefront, the city skyline behind us, and she held my hand as I cried. In Austin, I spent time with David and his family, playing with my grandchildren, laughing for the first time in months. Those visits reminded me that love still existed in my life. It just wasn't coming from Michael anymore. One afternoon, sitting in a cafe in downtown Houston, I overheard 2 women talking about second chances. One of them said, "Sometimes you don't discover who you really are until you've been broken." Her words stayed with me. That was my choice now, to stay broken or to rise. So I chose to rise. At 59 years old, I started reclaiming my independence. I signed up for art classes, began volunteering at a community center, and reconnected with friends I had lost touch with. Each step was a reminder that life wasn't over, that I still had purpose, that joy could still be mine. Looking back now, I see it clearly. Those text messages destroyed my marriage, but they didn't destroy me. They showed me a painful truth, yes, but they also forced me to rediscover my strength. I thought I knew love, but what I had was loyalty to someone who no longer valued it. Real love, I've learned, is built on honesty, respect, and trust. I may not know if I'll ever find that again, but I do know this. I will never settle for less than I deserve. My story didn't end when his betrayal began. It's only just beginning.